Hi, welcome back to Ideas Box. And if this is your first time here, then thanks for dropping by. My name's Jimmy, and today's video is a bit of a quick one, and it's just about some steel garden art that I've made. It's basically made from bits and pieces I had lying around the workshop, and it's a pretty good reason why you never throw anything out. I explained pretty much what I've done during the video, so let's get into it, shall we? Here's a dragonfly that I made just out of a piece of Rio and some old bread and butter knives. Not particularly good, but it's a start. I've made a piece of garden art for a friend of mine who's turned 50, and I just want to quickly show you why you never throw anything out. What I've basically made is like a little tractor that appears to be chain driven. So they're sprockets off of a bike cluster that I didn't use. That's just an old piece of bike chain. These are the actual pulleys from a cable vey system which is used for feeding grain to cows in a dairy. They're the brake shoes off of our horse float that we fixed up for the llama limo. These are actually, if you look at them, these are actually pump impellers from our pump that failed, so I didn't chuck them out because they were stainless and I knew I'd use them for something. So they're just back to back and then welded. I'm not even sure what that piece there is. It just came from a tub of bits that I've got that I haven't thrown out. That frame under there is a piece of some kind of crank handle that I had. I'm not even sure what that's for. I don't remember. This is just an old bolt. This is actually a 12-volt car compressor that the ring gear died. And if you look in there, where are you? If you look in there, you can see it still turns. So we'll leave that to go nice and rusty. That's just a steering wheel that I made from a washer and some welded bits. That's just a seat that I've just bent a washer up. This down here, this piece here, if you notice, if you recognise the shape at all, it's the cast iron base plate from a hand plane. That's just a piece of RHS, inch and a half rectangular hollow section. What else is there? That's just a piece of galv pipe. And yeah, so that's what you can do if you've got a little bit of imagination and a little bit of time. Now I did have to use the arc welder for these welds here because the MIG welder won't weld cast iron, so I used my arc welder for that. There you go, you can see it's a Bailey number 4. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm sure he'll like it. There's his initials and the fact that he's turning 50, so that's the sort of thing you can do if you've got a little bit of imagination. I'll do some videos, I'll show you some pictures of some other stuff that I've made. But there you go, that's the kind of thing you can do if you've got a little bit of imagination and a bit of time and you don't throw anything out. That's the critical bit. Don't throw anything out because you never know when you're going to need it. I'm particularly happy with the little mud guards made from the brake shoes. You can see the brass rivets there. Where are they? Over this side. You can see the brass rivets. Here's a grasshopper that I made from an old spanner and just some bent wire, some reinforcing rod and just a couple of spanners to make the legs. That come up alright. Quite happy with that. And here's a lizard that I made. It's actually quite fun doing this garden art because you get to use your imagination and you get to solve problems. You kind of think, well, how am I going to make a tail for that? And to be honest, that drill bent. I thought it was going to break, but that drill bent. And then to do the feet, you hold the long length, you weld it from underneath, and then you cut it off the right length. And they're just sockets and a piece of chain and a piece of chainsaw chain for spines down its back. This is another piece of garden art I've made, and basically that's an old brace and bit. That's just a piece of wire cable for a tail. It's a little reindeer, so that's just a pair of nail pullers for the front legs, an old pair of tin snips for the back legs. That's a pair of like scissory sort of shear things. And this worm gear here, what looks like a worm gear, is a screw auger from a grain feeder from a dairy, and just a couple of sockets. And what I did at Christmas time was, and there we have Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So once again, as you can see, you're only limited by your imagination and anything you haven't thrown out. There's a little fairy that I fixed up. She had a broken wing when we got her, and then just after we got her she fell over and broke the other wing, so I've made her some LED light wings, and which lights up at night. I'll show you how I did that now. As you can see, what I've done is I've made some fairy wings which are pretty much identical, and obviously they're a mirror of each other, and I've ground the surface of the statue smooth and then drilled a hole with a diamond drill bit, and then the other piece of lead that pokes out at an angle from the lead came, I've just epoxied that in place, and then I've used a filler around the joint to make the joint nice and smooth, and I mixed in the powder from the ground cement to make it the same colour, and it's come up looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, or you found it interesting, or it piqued your interest in maybe doing some garden art yourself. As you see, I use a MIG welder and an arc welder, but I did explain in the video why I had to use the arc welder. Don't forget to click that like and subscribe button, and also that notification bell. Well, I reckon that's it for today, so bye for now.